Throughout the years, superheroes have been strong, extraordinary, and have maintained a certain look. But with a black Captain America and a female Thor on Marvel's new roster, times are a-changin'. These new characters have caused a frenzy online, but what's the big deal? Why is everyone celebrating these changes? And why do they have to rub it in our faces? I knew I'd be a racist if I talked about race, but I headed to San Diego Comic-Con to get to the bottom of this diversity debacle.
If we're talking about race, isn't that like a bad thing because we're bringing attention to the problem?
Or maybe we're also starting a conversation.
But who wants to have this conversation? I thought we were living in a post-racial society.
Why is it African American Captain America and not just Captain America? You know what I mean? Why is it Indian Miss Marvel? Why can't it just be Miss Marvel?
Thank you. What did it matter if Ms. Marvel is Indian or Pakistani American? Why can't we just be colorblind?
There aren't many characters or people in the media that young black kids can identify with.
And that's important?
It was important to me, to have someone to emulate, someone that had morals, someone that, that I could strive to be more like.
I had no idea what he was talking about. More importantly, why is everyone shoving their excitement about diversity down our throats?
I mean, it's good that it's a better thing and not they're mad about it, I think.
Ugh, I was tired of everyone being so politically correct.
It's hard when you had, for 30 years, only white men drawing superheroes or writing about superheroes to put diversity into comics because you don't have anyone that has a voice like that, and it winds up coming out like it's really racist or they don't understand.
Bingo! This guy knows what he's talking about.
I always think that's sort of a, no offense, really stupid argument, because this is a medium where we had things like, dragons, talking raccoons, people who can make fire and fly. And so when people say, but the one thing that we can't do is get into the minds or have a character who is not white, that seems a little crazy to me.
But talking raccoons and dragons sell. Latinos and Asians couldn't possibly be seen as superheroes. Well, maybe.
There's a weird idea where comic book creators, not necessarily the creators, but the certain people in charge, and likewise movies and television, seem more willing to take a risk on a character who has green skin than a character who is brown or black, and I find that really bizarre.
This was getting exasperating.
God, I hate talking about race. It makes me so uncomfortable.
I was at a breaking point. So I sat down with clinical psychologist Dr. Andrea Letamendi to help me sort out my thoughts.
There's something called symbolic annihilation. So symbolic annihilation is the consequence of the media not representing the larger society accurately. It's almost wiping out groups of people on film, on TV, and what the psychological consequence of that is folks who don't see themselves on screen, the message to me is, well, I'm not important.
I was stunned. Had I been receiving that horrible message all my life?
I feel like there should be more females. Guys are usually more crime fighting than females.
Women can fight crime too, right?
Yes, they can, but people don't have much faith in them.
This was shocking to hear. Women have been fighting crime for years, and doing it while in high heels, and... Okay, maybe our superhero leagues do need some diversity.
Think about what a superhero is. A superhero is empowered, is important, has purpose. And if you don't feel like that's something that you can do because you've not seen yourself represented in that way, I mean, yeah, it can be damaging.
I don't want to make it about race, but we should have more Middle Eastern characters. I don't know that many.
More Asian superheroes.
Oh, yeah.
But there are already so many superheroes of color that already exist in the world of comics, right?
I want for you guys to name as many superheroes as you can, but the trick is they have to be people of color. 30 seconds on the clock. Are you ready? Set, go!
Storm, Black Panther, the Black Captain America.
Storm, Blade.
Well, that's the hard part, isn't it?
Black Panther.
There's Black Panther.
Cage, Luke Cage.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
So bad. I should know this.
There's also, I'm going through all of the different universes in my head.
Trying to think of more.
Name X-Men. That's how you're gonna get it.
DC.
Time.
Represent at all.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
We should be so much further than we are right now. We all know how diverse the world is. We see it every time we walk outside.
Okay, so it turns out we still have a ways to go. And I was beginning to see why talking about diversity is actually important.
A lot of us live our entire lives not seeing ourselves on screen, and that's crazy.
But as we move forward, what will happen to all our iconic heroes?
As times change and the characters change, you can always look back on the comics the way you love them.
So you guys aren't nervous that you might be out of a job soon?
No. There's always going to be people that love Superman, even if Supergirl is popular.
So diversity in comics is a win-win for everyone. Huh, who knew?
I do kind of like that they're able to switch things up, like changing gender, changing race. So basically everyone has a chance to sort of feel like they are a hero themselves.
These Comic-Con goers taught me that it's important to acknowledge and talk about race, even if it makes some of us feel uncomfortable.
But isn't that kind of the point? Aren't you feeling like super investigative reporter, like you're really digging up the truth? That's going to make people uncomfortable.
Personally, I would say go for satire. Make fun of closed-mindedness.
There's no telling how long these new superheroes will be around, but it's important that we celebrate them nonetheless, because being colorblind isn't the answer. Maybe we need to be more conscious of race. Maybe it's time for us to be color brave.